In the previous video, we showed you a better way, a better system for using nets like this with a mid-length handle. In this episode, we're going to show you exactly what you need and how to set that system up. We're not sponsored by any of the companies whose products you're going to see in these videos. No affiliation whatsoever. We're not trying to sell you anything other than a better way to carry your mid-handle length net to be more efficient and more effective when you're out on the river. So the two things you need to set this system up: a net with a round handle, which, like I said before, pretty much precludes the use of the carbon fiber nets. But I got to tell you, after years of using the carbon fiber nets and switching to these aluminum nets, I'm never going back. But we need a net with a round handle. As far as these aluminum handled nets go, the ones that I use specifically are from a company called Bozeman Flyworks, which I'll link to down in the comments below. Like I said, not sponsored, just my own gear that I purchase and use. And in an upcoming video in the adaptability series, we'll talk specifically about aluminum nets, the benefits of using them, and why I'm really partial to the nets from Bozeman Flyworks. And you're going to need one of these, an O-Pros third hand rod holder. See right there, meant to hold a rod. Got clips on the back for 2-inch belt, as well as these clips inside here for 1-inch straps on something like a backpack or a hip pack or a sling pack. Sorry, not a hip pack, but a sling pack. This is version 3 of the O-Pros third hand rod holder. It has this, you can see this little green button. If I press that up, it unlocks, and then I can rotate it to whatever angle I like. Press that button down again, then it's locked in place. Then it's not moving at all. So this is the latest and greatest version. Get you one of these. If you do have the older version, version 2, like what I've been using for a long time, so there's version 2. Version 2 just doesn't have the locking button or the locking mechanism on it. It just has detent, so just little click stops. But I've been using this for years and years with this system, and these work just fine. Whatever you do, don't go out to Amazon and buy you one of these. Had a buddy who wanted to use this system, so got himself a net with a round handle and decided to save a few bucks and not get the O-Pros third hand rod holder. Got this knockoff on Amazon, and well, yeah, you can already hear O-Pros knockoff. It does have the locking mechanism, so it's got that button to push there. But as you can see, it's just got these tiny little plastic nubs there to lock it in place. You can see those 3 white dots where the little nubs broke off. Because once it was locked in place, if you put any pressure on it, the nubs just broke off. So now, even though it's supposed to be locked in place, it turns. So it's kind of like a version 2 of the O-Pros, but it's, this is junk. Spend the extra 10 bucks, get yourself a proper piece of equipment. A few tips on using this system. Now, you got everything set up, and you want to go put your net in the third hand rod holder. So you're going to rotate that back so the clips are the open portion of the clip is facing back. And then in order to get your net in there, you just place it right up against the clips, and then you're going to use the palm of your hand there and your fingers to squeeze the net into the clips, just like that. Then to remove it, you can't just yank on it. These rod holders, they're just not meant for that. So you can't just yank this out of there. You put one finger on that top clip, the other, or your thumb, you just put on the net, and then just press the two together. There you go. So palm of your hand, fingers, squeeze it together, pops it in, one finger on the clip, one thumb on the net, just slide the top part out of the clip, and then the bottom part comes out. And I know it seems like this is kind of convoluted and complicated, but after you've done it a couple times, well, then it's just easy. Just that quick. You just don't even think about it. You just do it. So it'll take you a couple times to get used to it, but after that, it just saves so much time, makes life so much easier. Plus, we have the added benefit of now having a rod holder. So if you do find yourself on the river and you need your hands free, you can always take your net, put it in your hip pack or net holder, whatever, and then you actually got a place to put your rod as well. Both hands free. Tie knots, take pictures, eat lunch, whatever you need to do. Very versatile solution. No system is perfect. And I want to be sure and mention to you a couple of the issues that have arisen over the last few years of using this system. The first one is I'm right-handed, so I've got my net on my left side. And if I need to change flies or do something like that, need my hands free, the first thing that we do is just take our rod and put it in our armpit. And yep, you can hear that, huh? Yep, metal on metal right there. I have never had a reel that was actually damaged from that. No scratches, no scuffs. I haven't seen any damage. It might be because of the reels that I use, but like I said, I haven't had any damage, but you really don't like that sound. You just don't like to hear your rod and your net scraping together like that. So you just got to remember to tilt that net back, then you're good to go. The other issue that I've had on very rare occasions is if I'm fishing in fairly deep water. We're talking anywhere from mid-thigh up to the waist, and it's very swift current. The current will catch that net bag and just pull and pull and pull on it and might pull it loose. So it actually pops out of the OPRO's third-hand rod holder. Now there is a solution because the rod holder does have this bungee cord on it. And it's got a couple of little hooks on the clip. You can just real easily put that bungee cord over the hook there, and then your net's not going anywhere. And that's still real easy to do one-handed and get your net out. Put that back in, pull that bungee cord around. It's still faster and more convenient than trying to put the net back in the slot behind you. So, like I said, it's something that rarely happens. I'm usually not fishing in water that deep, and if I am, it's usually not that fast. But if you do find yourself fishing in those conditions, that's something to be aware of. The first time you go to put your net in the OPRO's third-hand rod holder, it's going to be very tight. The size is not quite right. These clips, they do flex a little bit to accommodate different size rod handles, but it's just not quite right for the size of these handles on the aluminum handled nets. It's off by, maybe millimeter, half millimeter. So it might feel really tight when you put it in there. And when it comes to these handles here, You've got the section with the knurled grip on there. Hopefully that's in focus. We're trying. We're thinking, maybe. Anyway, we've got this knurled section here, and then we've got the smoother section up here. And the smoother section is going to slide in there much easier because it's just going to be just a little bit taller where that knurled grip is. But what you need to do is take that knurled section and put it in your O-Pro's third hand rod holder. Just get it down in there, and then just rotate that knurled section around in there a little bit. Just rotate it. Spend a couple minutes doing that. And you'll start to see a little bit of scuffing on some of the plastic here, where it's wearing away just a tiny amount of that plastic. You might get a few little black flecks here and there. After you do that for a little bit, a few minutes, then it's going to pop in and out easy. Or you can just head out to the water, and it's just going to be kind of real tight in there for probably the first half of the day. But after that, it's just going to get easier and easier to put it in and take it out. So there you go. That's the pieces that you need. That's how you put it together. That's how you make it work. One more thing that I wanted to mention before we go. I apologize. I lied. I'm actually going to mention 3 more things. The first thing is, like we talked about in the first clip, if you've got a hip pack, backpack, sling pack, the Smith Creek type net holster, if you're using anything like that, anything to hold your net where you have to grab it by the hoop and pull it out, you're going to have to do that flip. Doesn't matter what type of pack you got. If you're pulling it out by the hoop, you got to do that flip. And that's a chance for you to lose your net. But with this system, just leave your net in the back until you get to where you're going to be fishing. And once you step in the hole, you know you're going to be fishing there for a while. Just pull the net out, go ahead and put it in there, and then you don't have to do that flip anymore. It's a time saver, and it might save you from dropping your net in the water and watching it head off downstream. Second thing I wanted to mention, with version 3 of the O-Pro's third hand rod holder, because they don't sell version 2 anymore, the whole issue of this thing right here, or the net being pulled out while it's in heavy, swift current, well, now with that locking feature, you can just rotate that out of the way, lock it in place, and, well, now you know it's not going to cause you an issue, and now net bag's not going to be dragging in the water. I don't really like the idea of the net hanging out beside me, but it's better than it disappearing down the river. And the third thing is, some of you are probably wondering, okay, how do you get the O-Pro's third hand rod holder on your hip pack? It's set up for a 2-inch wide belt at maximum, and well, my hip pack's a lot wider than that. I hear you. What you need is one of these. People use these for cable ties. It's Velcro that sticks to itself. So it's sticky on one side and soft on the other, so it sticks to itself. And then you take that strap, which is, these are in their widest. The widest I've been able to find them is 3/4 inch, but that'll work just fine. And you go ahead and you put that through the clips for the 1-inch straps. And then you can just use that. Oh, sorry about that. Go around the big fat strap on your hip pack. Get that snug down real good. And you can see it's locked. Let me unlock it. It's on there nice and tight. Rotates just fine. I've been using this system with my hip pack for a little over 2 years. with this strapped on here using these Velcro straps and never had it come off once. You want to make sure and get that right there where it overlaps itself and sticks together. You want that on the inside so that when you put the hip pack on, that's between the strap on the waist strap on the hip pack and your waders, so nowhere for it to go. It'll work just fine. So there you go. That's tip number 3. So that's it for this episode of the Efficiency Series on the Troutwise channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.